Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Reed, the #1 console player in the whole wide world, as said by JGOD and Swagg and lots of other people. We are back with another settings video. This time we're in for Warzone Ranked. It just dropped today. As the time I'm recording this video, about 7 hours ago it dropped. I'm already gold. It took about 12 games for me to make it to gold. We went 10-2, 10 wins, 2 second places. RIPL, we suck. I have got for you the best settings to use for ranked play on console in Call of Duty Warzone 2.0, free to play, Battle Royale. First things first, let's get on into the controller settings. I play on bumper jumper tactical, even though I do use a beautiful, sexy SCUF controller. Use code REED, by the way. Even though I do have 4 paddles on the back of my controller, I still play bumper jumper. I don't technically need the paddles, they're just kind of there. It's fun, nice to have. I jump with L1. That is something for you if you do not want to spend lots of money on a fancy controller. SCUF, code REED, by the way. If you do not want to do that and you are just stuck with a default controller, you can still jump and shoot at the same time. You can still lay down and shoot drop shot at the same time. That's very important to be able to do. Priority #1. Never take your thumb off the aiming thumbstick no matter what you're doing. That way you can constantly be shooting people and not missing bullets. I play with controller vibration on. I'm one of the only people that does that. Majority of people anywhere, everywhere are going to tell you, turn that off. You don't want that on. You want your hands shaking. I've never played a game without vibration turn on. I've never held a controller and played anything without vibration turn on. It doesn't feel right to me. It feels weird. I can't shoot straight with it. I don't like it. Majority of people are going to say turn that off. Get used to having it off. I play on 7 horizontal, 5 vertical sensitivity. Now what that lower vertical sense does, it allows you to fine-tune your adjustments while shooting specifically at people on head glitches, people where you can't see their entire body. It allows you to fine-tune that aim and control that recoil a little bit better when people are on head glitches. Do I necessarily recommend this for everybody? No, because in Warzone more so, people are a lot more vertical than in multiplayer. There's a lot more up and down, a lot of people flying around, taller buildings. You have to look up and down a lot more, so having a lower vertical sensitivity does sometimes hold me back from doing certain things, but it's something that you could definitely try out if you're interested in that. I've been playing on this sense for almost 10 years now, since they took jetpacks out of COD. Sensitivity multipliers, all these are on default. We get into the more ADS sensitivity multipliers in the advanced settings. Vertical aim axis, they're all standard. Aimed on sight behavior hold. Where's the fun stuff? Auto tac sprint. Auto tactical sprint is not worth it in Warzone 2. If this is not Warzone 1, you do not need to have some sick, crazy movement. You do not need to be slide canceling. You do not need to be tactical sprinting as fast as possible all over the place. That is not necessary. There's very, very limited movement in this game. Having auto tac sprint on and having that tactical sprint and that long sprint to fire time with the low time to kill combo is not really beneficial to you. There are points in the game when you do want to burger walk, as we call it, bot walk forward, where you just walk forward patiently, gun at the ready. You can hit fire the second you see somebody. There are more times when you want that than there are going to be times when you want a tactical sprint really, really fast. But there is another setting for this that we will get to in a second, so stay tuned for that one. Prioritize interact. This is a very important setting right here. This allows you to grab things off the ground faster. Rather than holding square and grabbing it and then holding square and grabbing it, just tap, 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 tap. You can pick up an entire pile of loot super duper fast. You are occasionally going to drop your gun on accident. It happens. Happens to the best of us. It happens to me after I've been playing on this setting for months now, years now. It still happens to the best of us. But for the most part, as you can get used to holding square down for longer to reload, it doesn't really happen anywhere near as much. Armor plate behavior, there's another one. Apply all, just switch to apply all. It's not really that big of a difference, but it'll allow you to just hold triangle, start putting on the plates, and then you don't have to hold it anymore. That frees up your finger that you're using to hold triangle to apply all or whatever control you plan to just move around freely, and you don't have to hold it down. So that one's a nice one. And then we're on to the advanced settings. So for those of you who do not know, I play on aim assist on now. We had a change of heart going from Modern Warfare 19 and Warzone 1 to Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. It went from me trying to show people that you don't need aim assist. You know, that stuff's for cheaters. Only people who suck use aim assist. Now, I enjoy making mouse and crybabies whine and complain. It's funny. It's so hilarious how upset and butthurt they get. So we got that aim assist cranked all the way up. Piss them off, make them cry. It is so funny. I play on the linear response curve. One thing I always tell people is standard, linear, dynamic. There is not one that is better than the others. Try them all out. Whatever you like best is best for you. This is all just personal preference on these. It's literally just there's some science to it. You can Google the specific differences between these, but basically it's just how your thumb or how your character in game responds to very minor thumbstick movements. On one of them, it moves less when you make a small adjustment. One of them moves more when you make a small adjustment. One of them, it moves less when you make a major adjustment. One of them, it moves more when you make a major adjustment. I like the way linear feels. Try them all. Whatever's best for you is best for you. Custom sensitivity per zoom. On anything 5 times and below, I am on 0.8. On anything 6 times and above, I am on 0.9. You want to turn this below 1. This allows you to, when ADSing and you want to be more precise with your shots, this allows you to have that lower sensitivity, that more fine-tuned range of motion to make those better shots, to beam like your favorite streamer in their Cronus. Input dead zone. This is another important setting. You want these to be low. You want these to be as low as possible. I've got mine at 0.03 on both of them. That's just because that's what I've been using for a long time. I don't really, my aim feels off just a little bit if I change it by just 1. So I've got it set to 0.03. Now what this does, now one thing is a lot of people say, if you have stick drift, just turn up your dead zone, your minimum dead zone, just turn it up. Never ever has it happened where my stick slowly drifting on its own when I'm not touching it. Never has that affected a gunfight. Like, yeah, it might be weird to have to keep your stick centered if you're sitting there like not doing anything to keep yourself from spinning, but never does that actually make a difference in my gunfights. So stick drift is not a problem to me, even though I don't usually have them because I do use a scuff controller. Hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored. The lower dead zone is definitely better. Now, if you set your controller down and in 2 seconds you're doing 360s by yourself, that you might need to use a new controller. Hashtag code read. Yeah. Anyways, the left stick max. Now that I just kind of been playing on 0.8 for a while now. I did that more for movement in Warzone 1. It just kind of feels weird when I go all the way back up. Doesn't really make that big of a difference. It allows you to hit that max speed just a hair faster. Maybe. Is it ever really going to make a difference to you? No. This is not a very important setting. Right stick max, you want that cranked all the way up. You want the maximum range of motion available for your controller. Now with my scuff controller, hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored, I do play on the fancy triggers that turn them into mouse clicks. If you can see here, this is as far down as they go, so the input dead zone does not matter for me, but you do want this to be as low as possible for that fastest potential reaction time. Now the gyro behavior right here, this makes it so that way it basically turns your controller into like a Wii remote, where if you tilt it right, your character looks right, or you twist it a little bit. I haven't really experimented with this too much. I troll around with it sometimes. I don't think I've ever gotten a kill with it turned on, so I just got all this stuff, all it turned off. That stuff doesn't really matter too much. And then this is another thing. I've got my tactical sprint behavior set to toggle, more so on Al Mazrah. If you're running across a long distance, I don't want to have to hold my thumbstick down. I just tap it forward and let it go. This is the important setting right here. Never ever do I want to regularly sprint forward. If I'm sprinting somewhere, I want to be going as fast as possible. I want to be doing that tack sprint, which is apparently called running in this. So what this setting does is when you press forward to sprint, you are tack sprinting. There is no regular sprint unless your dudes run out of tack sprint. Then you can still walk forward and do the bot walk, the burger walk as we call it, but then the second you press down, you are sprinting as fast as possible. This is a perfect middle ground between auto tack sprint and not auto tack sprint. Single tap to run. You want all 3 of these turned off, all the mantles turned off, so that way you are never mantling in the middle of a gunfight when you don't want to mantle. Make sure these are turned all the way off. And then invert slide and dive behavior. You want this set to inverted. This is what allows your favorite streamers to go and jump off of a roof or something and do that Superman dive jump into a parachute. They make it so that way you just tap to dive and you dive way more than you slide, because sliding realistically is not that useful in this game. Parachute auto deploy, you want this turned off. You want to be able to make it as close to the ground as possible. You're going to break your ankles. It happens to the best of us. It happens to me still sometimes. Don't worry about it. As you get used to it, it'll happen less and less often, but you do want to be able to get to that ground, especially off the drop, and get that loot way faster than the guy with auto deploy on. I do not play with the backpack alternate controls on, especially now with the smaller backpacks. You don't really need that anywhere near as much. You don't want that mouse cursor on there. I got used to it right away. I got used to it very fast in Warzone 2. I did not want to try and relearn the alternate control. That's something, if you want to try that turning on and you like that better, go right ahead. It's not like one of these settings is better than the other. I'm just used to having it off. Depleted ammo weapon switch, if you're going to run out of ammo and switch to your other gun anyways, you might as well do it automatically so it's as fast as physically possible. And that's about it for your controller settings. Now we're going on over to the graphics. On-demand texture streaming, I was told to turn that off. I don't know why. I don't really notice a difference on or off. Got it turned off. Motion blurs, film grains, depth of fields, keep those all off. 0, you don't want those. I was told Fidelity FX, turn it on, and 81 to 100 is the best area to put it. I don't notice a difference with it on and off. I don't notice a difference between 81 and 100. That's more for people with the fine-tuned attention to details that I don't have or care about. 120 hertz refresh rate, got that cranked. Field of view, I've been said that you do not want to hit 120. 120 is too high. You shouldn't do that. That's for some burgers. You don't want that. 90 to 110 is like the area you should be in, and 95 to 105 is the sweet spot. I went right in the middle at 100, and because I'm just so quirky and unique and different, we dropped it down to 99 rather than 100, you know. Have your ADS field of view on affected and weapon field of view on wide. And brightness, that's more specific to your monitor. I've got mine set to 50, but I also have other monitor settings in there as well. Safe area, same thing, that's affected with your monitor or TV if you play on a TV still. Audio. The audio in this game sucks. There's no way around it. There's nothing you can do to make audio not suck in this game. I've tried headphones, I've tried bass boost, I've tried home theater, I've tried it all. They all suck. None of them are better than the others. Well, one thing I will say, you should not crank your headset all the way up to the max to where you're hearing people taking breaths from across the map. It is not worth it to go deaf by the age of 30 to hear some footsteps in Call of Duty. It ain't worth it, bro. Turn your master volume down, turn your headset down, quit being a loser and sound whoring everybody in the game. I got my master volume set to 68 because that's as close as the game would allow me to go to 69. Gameplay music volume. Everybody, everywhere is going to tell you to turn this off. I like the music in the background. That's all that there is to it. I like hearing the intense music end game. Like I said, I don't listen to footsteps. I don't suck at the game. Dialogue volume, you got that set to 60. That's the announcer in your ear telling you hostile dropping in, hostile UAV. You want that on, but not overbearing. Effects volume, I was told this is footsteps. This is the one you want cranked up. Voice chat, people in game chat. Death comps, proc chat, that stuff is so loud in your ear sometimes, but you definitely want it on. You want it on so you can hear some people's call outs. 22 is the low volume that I went with so people aren't screaming in my ear and overpowering the footsteps with their terrible mic and their smoke detectors constantly going off, but you still want to be able to hear what they're saying. And then the cinematic music volume, I like the music in my vehicles when I get in them and I start playing Sweet Home Alabama or Mr. Brightside. It's banging, so I got that stuff cranked all the way up. Most people are going to tell you to turn this off. Proc chat. Even if you don't want proc chat on, you don't want to hear what people are saying, I recommend you just turn the voice chat volume way down, but you still want that red indicator on your screen to tell you that there's somebody nearby in proc chat so you're not just caught off guard. Definitely want to have proc chat on even if you don't hear it. I've got my in-game mic set to the absolute worst possible settings I could have it set to, so that way it sounds absolutely god-awful to everybody that I am talking to in game chat. I find it hilarious.
Mic check! Testing! 1, 2, 1, 2, Read Boy on Twitch. Yes, sir. You guys are really good.
Like I said, the worst possible settings I can have it on. That's what I've got it set to. Anything else here that's important? Nothing in the audio settings. And the interface, a little minor stuff that we can go for here. Color customization. People ask me why my game looks the way I do. I've got a saturation filter turned on my stream and recording for you guys, so it's not exactly what my screen looks like. And then I've got sharpness increased just a little bit. Again, on my recording, that's not what my game looks like. But other than that, I've got my color filter set to filter 2. Target both. So it's both in-game and the menus. World color intensity at 80. I'm not too sure why. And then the one thing I have right here, so that my pings, when I ping something, they're not just basic white. So that way they stick out. Like sometimes the white kind of blends in with the buildings on the minimap when you try and ping stuff. I just change my neutral color to pink. Just so it sticks out a little bit more and I can see things more so on my minimap. Everything else I have is default. Minimap size, you can literally see right here, if I get rid of the webcam, you can see the square literally shows you more minimap, so you want that square shape turned on for sure. Gives you more to look at, more info. The compass, I would recommend turning it on. Some people do call out in direction still in this game. Some of the more hardcore BR players says he's northeast, he's 70 or something like that. So that definitely allows for some better communication. Crosshairs, you want your crosshairs static, so they're not bobbing and weaving up and down. You want it on. It definitely allows you to have better centering and see the center of your screen more. You want your hit markers on. You definitely want to know when you're shooting people and when you're not. Red hit markers so you know when somebody's dead and you know you're not just missing bullets now. Center dot, that's one thing I would recommend. I can't really tell. I don't pay attention to center dot anymore. I don't really notice it, but I've still got mine turned on to allow you to help have better centering and line that up perfectly around corners when you're turning the corner or with a sniper or something like that. I do have it on the smallest setting though. Server latency and packet loss. So this was something that was added in Cold War and has been in every game since then. That allows you to see your ping and your packet loss in the top left corner. A lot of people are like, Reed, you're on PC now. You're on PC. I see the the ping in the top left corner. Nope, that's been a console setting for a few years, and now it's finally in Warzone, so you can see if it's the server lagging or if it's more so you. And then this one right here, the best setting, the most beautiful setting ever, bro. Thankfully, I'm not going to go blind at the age of 30 since I'm already going to go deaf at the age of 30 in this game. You turn the inverted flash on, and instead of your screen dropping a nuke on your eyeballs, now it goes pitch black. It's going to scare you a couple times. You're gonna think your game crashed. Happens a lot, but as you get more and more used to it, it's way better for your literal eyesight to not have your screen go pitch white and have it go pitch black instead. So I definitely recommend turning the inverted flash on. Other than that, that is the #1 ranked console players ranked Warzone 2.0 settings. If you guys learned something new, be sure to let me know in the comments. If you got something different to me or you want me to try something, let me know. Other than that, drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe and have a fantastic day. Did I do that good? Am I a good YouTuber? Is that how YouTubers do it? Am I still recording? All right, bye!